Well, starting off this week's grow forecast, we are looking at the drought monitor. Now we are seeing abnormally dry conditions in a good part of the state. This is that yellow portion in central Nebraska as well as western Nebraska, that area of abnormally dry, also inching its way into southeast Nebraska. In Nebraska, we really didn't see much change from last week in our drought monitor. Kansas actually saw a little bit of improvement, but it was very minimal. Much of northern Nebraska is included in that abnormally dry category, shaded in that yellow, and we are seeing some moderate drought in northwest Kansas as well as some severe inching its way into that area as well. Taking a look at temperatures, the outlook 1 month out, this blue area indicates below average temperatures, a good chance for that 1 month out. That includes Kansas and Nebraska as well as a good part of the south central part of the United States. And as we head a little farther west, above average temperatures are what they are going to see in the western parts of the United States. That's indicated in that orange category. Looking off to the east, anything that isn't shaded, mainly looking at equal chances as we head there. But looking 3 months out, we are looking at below average temperatures, a good chance for that in much of the south as well as Florida and parts of the Midwest and parts of the Northeast as well. The only exception is this area up here where they are looking at a good chance for some above average temperatures looking 3 months out. Now this area not shaded, including Nebraska and Kansas, we're looking at equal chances as we look at the area 3 months out. And then as we head a little farther west, looking at above average chances in that orange shaded area. Switching gears to precipitation, this area that's not shaded at all, looking at equal chances for normal precipitation about 1 month out. This green area is looking at above average chances, and that does include parts of Kansas and Oklahoma as well as Texas, and heading a little farther west as well. Looking at the northwest part of the United States, they are looking at below average chances. That's that orange indication in that area. But going 3 months out, parts of Chicago as well as areas around there are looking at below average chances for precipitation. In our part of the area, Nebraska and Kansas, we are looking at above average chances as we look 3 months out. That's indicated in that green area, as well as parts of Florida. And then looking towards the northwest, still looking at those below average chances as we look 3 months out. But taking a look at this week's Grow Almanac, our normal high this time of year, right around 36 degrees. Our normal low is in those teens, right around 16. Looking for the next week, our average high this time of, our average forecasted high for the next week, right around 39, and our average forecasted low, we are going to be warmer than normal, right around 24 degrees. And here's a look at this week's Proverbs. Clouds in the east covering the sun indicate fair weather. We'll have a Merry Christmas, and that's a look at this week's Grow weather forecast. You sent us some pictures, and now here they are.
To see your pictures. Show us maybe what Christmas looks like on your Nebraska farm or ranch. Share your pictures with us and maybe they'll end up here on the show. Just email them to grow@nebraska.tv or post them right to Facebook or our Twitter pages. World news does have an impact on those market numbers, and you may need to make some moves now. Here's more. In the headlines, Russia's starting to enter the talk again. What's going on here, and how does that impact our markets?
Yeah, it has an impact, definitely. It's been a while since we've talked about them. A lot of things have been going on. What we're seeing right now is that the domestic price of wheat within the country is very, very high. And so what they've done is they've been rumored to say, well, we're not going to go ahead and limit exports. But what we are going to do is we're going to go ahead and make some restrictions. And what they announced today, it looks like, is restrictions where they're only going to issue a phytosanitary certificate. Now, that's a certificate that's needed by the exporters to be able to send the wheat out. So in essence, they are limiting exports.
Okay, so what does this mean here?
Yeah, so what they've done, though, is they've limited it to 4 countries that are going to have approval. So they've cut everybody else off. Egypt, India, Armenia are 3 of those countries that they've went ahead and said, it's okay to send to those. What it means is the wheat price has taken off actually over the last week in anticipation of this, wheat's been up about 95 cents a bushel. So that has given us some support in the other markets too.
Okay, now let's go on and talk about this certain kind of gene that the Ag Secretary has been talking about. Explain what the situation is there.
Yeah, a lot of talk about that MIR162 gene, and that was the gene that is in corn. And what it is that China went ahead and restricted it. Starting back in 2013 in November, they said we no longer want to go ahead and take in any distiller's grain or corn that contains this gene. Now, according to Vilsack this morning, Secretary of Ag, he's saying that the Chinese Agriculture Ministry, they're saying that they have approved it. Now, I don't think it's going to have a lot of impact on our markets. Right now, China has plenty of corn, so they're not looking to import a lot, but that's an item we got to keep a close eye on.
And this is just Russia, China. This just goes to an example of how overseas it can impact us here at home and in Nebraska.
Oh, tremendously. We continue to become more and more global, and each and every day a good example is as we take a look at the crude oil market, the impact of crude, how that impacts our grain markets. It's a very, very global marketplace, Marilyn.
Anything you suggest farmers to be looking at right now?
Yeah, you know what, getting all their numbers together, really thinking about what their break-evens are, and the markets have had a nice run here and they've actually came up. It's a good time to start thinking about making some sales. They're getting closer to break even. It isn't at break even for everybody, but they definitely want to be focusing on that.
All right, thank you so much, Jeff, for joining us again. Heartland Farm Partners, if you have questions, go to our website as well, nebraska.tv. Meet the Farm Youth of the Month when we return.